Ladies and gentlemen, I am the American Spy Fox. Welcome back to the channel. As I said, this is a follow-up video to Jillian Schreiner, the Weezer bassist who was shot by the LAPD. I told you guys in the first video I was going to reserve judgment for when the body cam footage was released. The body cam footage has been released, and we have security footage from the back of Jillian Schreiner's home. It should come as no surprise to you that they do not have any 100% proof that Jillian shot at them. There's no footage of her doing anything, but we can discern a lot by what the officers are saying, how they're acting, how they're treating her. I'm going over all of it. I'm analyzing it with a fine-tooth comb. I'll play a little bit, I'll speak, I'll play a little bit, I'll point something out. This is how we're going to do this video. I'm going to start with the security footage from her home, then we're going to move to the body cam footage. By the end of the video, you should be able to discern for yourself whether she is innocent or guilty, or whether this is some weird gray area where she did wrong and the police did wrong. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask a favor of you. Before you comment on this video, I need you to watch at least most of it so you get all the information. And I want you to ask yourself 3 questions before you comment. Number 1, could Jillian Schreiner hear the LAPD's commands with a helicopter whirling above her head, that they descended down upon her on her own property? Number 2, did Jillian Schreiner shoot at the police, or did one of the cops pop one off and then they all popped off? Number 3, after you watch the body cam footage, did they ever once say, "Ma'am, do you live here? Ma'am, are you afraid? Ma'am, is there a suspect in your house? Is that why you won't put the gun down?" She could not see their uniforms. You're going to see the body cam footage. They were behind a fence. She could not see them. All she saw was guns and heads. I want you to ask yourself those questions before you go commenting. Plus one more that I feel the need to add. We know since the OJ trial, since the chase with OJ, that whenever the LAPD has a helicopter following somebody, hovering above somebody, they have great cameras right in the helicopter pointing right at them. Why has the helicopter footage never been released? Ask yourself that at the end of the video as well. They were right above her. They would have had a camera pointed right at her. If she did what they said, why wouldn't they release that footage? One thing I do know, the police definitely did wrong. The LAPD are notorious for shooting before thinking. Instead of pinning her down with guns and putting her back to a wall, they should have been chasing suspects. What you're seeing here is Jillian Schreiner walking out her back door. She does have a gun in her hand. At this moment in time, we do not know what she knows. We do not know her side of the story. It looks to me as though she is protecting her home. She's walking the property line. She's definitely heard there's suspects in the area. For all we know, she could have grandchildren in the house, right? We don't know her side of the story. What I do know is she's not a felon. She's not on probation. She's legally allowed to have a gun. The gun is legal, and she's on her own property. And she is not committing a crime. For all we know, a neighbor called her and said, "Hey, some strange guys just ran through my backyard heading your direction." It switches view, and we just see her sort of casing her yard, making sure nobody's coming through. I stress very much that she may have had children in the house. We don't know. This is where the video comes to an end. That's basically it as far as her home security camera. We're going to switch over to the body cam footage. I will be stopping and starting the body cam footage as to point out very important details. I want you guys to not only watch it, but I want you to listen to what the police are saying. These police officers made a huge mistake, and quite frankly, I'm just sick of cops thinking rules for thee but not for me. I'm just so sick of that. Had they followed the actual Constitution, the actual laws of the state of California, this would have never happened.
That woman was later identified as Jillian Schreiner. The officers gave Schreiner repeated verbal commands to drop the handgun. However, she did not comply. Moments later, Schreiner racked the handgun, pointed at the officers, and fired, resulting in an officer-involved shooting.
First thing I want to say about that, Jillian Schreiner, it would be my guess, this is speculation, she probably has a carry conceal permit. And I believe, because a female friend in California told me this, hi Christine, you have to take carry conceal classes. You have to take gun safety classes to obtain a weapon. Her entire life, including those courses she took, told her that the Constitution protects her. She is allowed to bear arms, not a felon, not on probation. She is allowed to defend herself against any foreign threat that pins her down on her property and makes her feel as though her life is in danger. And what greater danger would your life be in than to have the LAPD pinning you down with all weapons pointed at you? They are notorious for killing people. When she's on her own property, she has a right to protect her home and her family. She's doing nothing wrong. She committed no crimes. Yet watch as the LAPD takes all their resources, all their manpower, including their chopper in the air, and redirects it from the 3 actual criminals who are doing God knows what. They could be in somebody's house by this point. They could be holding someone at knife point or gunpoint. They take all their resources and direct it at Jillian Schreiner and stop chasing the hit and run suspects that they've, by the way, been told are 3 black males. I'm not going to bother with the entire video, but if you watch the entire video, when the police arrive, they're told their suspects are 3 black males. You couldn't get it any different. Wrong race, wrong gender. Watch what happens.
Here is additional body-worn video from the officers involved in this incident.
Put the gun down! What?
Hey, hold the quick team. We got I
have an armed resident
Hey,
put the gun down! Put it down! Put it down on the ground! Put it down on the ground!
help call for a 450 female with a gun. Be behind the residence.
They've called in for backup. They've redirected their attention towards Jillian Schreiner. Have you noticed that they're hiding behind a fence? Very convenient for them, isn't it? They know that their body cam can't see Schreiner or what she's doing, and therefore none of us can see what Schreiner's doing. Not to mention the fact that the only thing Jillian Schreiner can see are heads above the fence, and Jillian Schreiner doesn't know whether the suspects are Mexican or black or Asian or white. She doesn't know who they are. They're saying, put the gun down, put the gun down. For all she knows, these 3 men are actually trying to attack her. Now, I'm not putting up that defense for her because she shot at them. I do not believe she shot at them. There is no video footage of her shooting at them, and it sounds to me, what you're about to hear, it sounds to me like they opened fire on her without her shooting at them. And this is their lucky mistake. They were hiding behind a fence, trying to look through the cracks, as you're just about ready to see, so they really can't see her or what she's doing at all. They decided to open fire on a woman who has a legal handgun standing in her backyard protecting her family from the people they should be chasing. They start telling her to put her gun down. Well, she's been told her whole life, this is my constitutional right. I'm on my property. I'm not doing anything wrong. Why are you looking at me? Why aren't you chasing the motherfucking suspects?
Lay the gun down!
Lay the gun down!
We got one at gunpoint, got an armed suspect. Shoot up! Man, put the gun down!
Check out where the officer's gun is. The only thing she's going to see over the fence is the gun and the top of his head. Did you hear what he just said? We have an armed suspect. So any other police who arrive on the scene are coming, they don't know what's happened. They don't know who Jillian is. They think they have a criminal, an armed suspect. Their investigation is now pointed at her, who's completely legal, doing nothing illegal. I'm going to go ahead and show you the rest. There's 3 different body cam footages that they released because there were 3 officers who shot at her. And they all just show the same thing, the back of a fence. They know, as trained officers, they know that that fence will not stop a bullet. They're standing behind that fucking fence because they know it's blocking their cameras.
Put the gun down! She's walking away.
She's walking away.
Party's walking away.
Yeah.
She's armed. Long gray suit, black hair, black pants. He has a gun in their hand.
They just described their new suspect who's doing nothing illegal. They just described their new suspect and who they're focusing on to over the radio to any cops in the area. Right after they said she was walking away, probably trying to go back into her house. And then they start yelling at her again, put the gun down, put the gun down. Why should she have to put the gun down? She's on her property. She's not doing anything wrong. Dangerous. Huge mistake. She literally has not committed a fucking crime, and she's now a suspect.
Put the gun down!
If she lifts that gun,
Man, put the gun down, okay?
Notice how he didn't finish his sentence? He's not saying if she points it at us, if she shoots at us. He said if she lifts that gun, then he stops his sentence because he remembers, oh shit, I'm being recorded. They're already wanting to shoot this woman. And please remember, at this point, they're looking through tiny cracks in the fence. They can't even really see her.
hey, you have cover?
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Do you have cover? Do you know why he asked that question? Because they're getting ready to shoot. Without provocation, they're getting ready to shoot. Do you have cover? That means get ready, motherfucker. They're amping each other up. Do you hear the chopper in the air? They've redirected the chopper to her. Do you think that Jillian Schreiner can hear them over a helicopter hovering above her head? Nope. I mean, I don't know how many of you have ever been on a helicopter. I've only been on one once. It's super, super loud. There's no way she was hearing what they were yelling at her.
Yeah, I can't see her right now. The gun's not up.
Now, we're trying to help you.
Matt, put the gun down.
Come on with your hands up.
Very interesting. They say they can't see her. They admit they can't see her. And they tell her to come back out. Why? She's on her property. She hasn't committed a crime. What I'm getting at here, guys, is your rights, my rights. This could happen to any of us. What's the point in having rights if anytime the police want to, they can come along to your family's home and strip you of those rights and shoot you for not complying when you've never been arrested in your life and you can't understand why the cops are paying attention to you and not chasing the suspects that you're trying to protect your home from? But again, I believe her biggest defense is two things. One, the helicopter. She may have not even heard their commands. Number two, you're about ready to hear the gunshots. There is no gunshot followed by a barrage of gunshots. Okay, I understand that they're trained and they would return fire very quickly, but there's no pop, 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 pop. It's just boom, 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 boom. It's a barrage of shots. I do not believe she shot at them. I believe that the reason they are saying she shot at them is because all the body cam footage was on the back of that fence and no one can prove them wrong. And if she did shoot, which again, as I said in the first video, I don't believe a word the LAPD says. If she did shoot at them, she believed it was in some type of self-defense, probably didn't hear their commands because they have a chopper over her head, and all she can see are heads popping up over the fence. She can't see their uniforms. For all we know, she may have thought the suspects were trying to get her to drop her gun so they could hop the fence and take her as a hostage and keep her in the house. We don't know her side of the story yet. What I do know is it makes absolutely no sense for a rich, famous woman to shoot at a cop for no reason. That's what I do know. They shot an innocent person who was exercising her rights on her own property, and now they are lying to get out of trouble. And this is why I never became a police officer. One thing I don't think I've ever mentioned on my channel, I was a police science major. Wanted to be Ohio State Patrol. I almost went to Ohio State Patrol Academy. I had a year and a half of credits towards police science. I only had one more semester. I'm sorry, at the time it was quarters. One more quarter to go. 17 credit hours, which can be done in a quarter if you bust ass. I would have had a degree in police science. I would probably be a cop to this day. But I saw how dirty they operate. They teach you to lie. Did you know that it is legal for officers to lie to you under the guise of getting the truth out of you? I understand that different states have different laws, but I'm saying at the time I was studying police science, it was completely legal for Ohio police to lie to you. The amount of immunity that officers have in this country is disgusting, and they abuse their authority every single day. And then when they get caught, they just lie their way out of it. That's why I decided to change my major and say fuck being a cop, because I didn't even like my instructors. After they opened up and told me all their dirty stories, I'm like, you guys aren't moral. You guys aren't righteous. You guys are almost, it's like they're fighting fire with fire. You know, play dirty to beat dirty. And you know, if any casualties get in the way, it's not our fault.
Drop the gun! You're gonna get shot!
Now we have an officer just straight making threats. He just straight up says, drop the gun or you're going to get shot. At no point do they say, ma'am, is this your property? Ma'am, identify yourself. Is that a legal weapon? Are you protecting yourself from the hit and run suspects? Where did you see which way they went?
You're getting shot! It's the police! Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
Not to beat a dead horse, but he says we have one at gunpoint. Again, other officers could be thinking, these are the suspects we're looking for. We have one at gunpoint. Not, we have a resident who's standing in her backyard legally holding a weapon because she's afraid.
Put the gun down!
Hey, what is she?
Put the gun!
I can't see from. What is she doing right now?
One officer says he can't see her. The other officer says she's taking steps back. Get ready for it, because here it comes. But take note that they just said she's taking steps back. She lifted the gun, but she didn't point it at us.
Get down!
Shut.
Listen again. You be the judge. Listen very, very carefully. I put this in my editing software so I could see the sound waves. There is no pop followed by a barrage. It's just peek, 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 peek. They said she racked the gun. She's got one in the chamber, which who even knows if she did? Because they can barely see her. Obviously, they keep saying they can't see her. They keep saying they don't know what she's doing. Suddenly, they believe that she's racked the gun, and it's just boom, 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 boom. This is a tragedy. This happens all the time. The only reason it's getting so much attention is because of her husband's band. This kind of thing happens all the effing time. Listen again. Listen closely, put it in slow motion, whatever you want to do. You be the judge. Did she shoot and then they return fire? Or did they believe that she put a round in the chamber and just decided to unload it on her? I believe that it's quite possible that one of the officers was a little nervous and a little trigger happy, and he popped one off, which set the other cops off. Pop. And then boom, 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 boom. I think that's what happened. Now, if it comes out in the end that I'm wrong, then I apologize, but I don't think I'm wrong. I would also like to hear her side of the story. Could she hear what they were yelling at her because of the chopper? Did she feel as though her life was in danger? LAPD kill people every year. Did she feel like if I put my gun down and come out with my hands up like they're telling me to, they might just murder me right here? In other words, as a legal citizen with no felonies and no probation and a legal gun, did they illegally put her in a situation where she had to defend herself? Who says you can't defend yourself against cops if the cops are shooting at you and aiming at you under false pretenses and you know you're completely innocent? No fool is just going to stand there and let them kill you. Not to mention that there was a privacy fence, which means had they not popped their heads over the fence, they wouldn't have even known she was there. They wouldn't have even seen her with a gun. At no point does any of them think, man, we got three crazy dudes running through the neighborhood. Maybe she's just a resident trying to protect herself. Maybe we should go chase them and leave her the hell alone. We have yet to hear Jillian's side of the story. I have the feeling it's going to be a while. One thing I do know is she did say, I heard one person say, put your gun down. And I said, you put your fucking gun down, because they were aimed at her over the fence and all she could see was a head. She couldn't see a uniform. Rather, I should say she allegedly said this. It's been reported that she said this. So you understand that this is a situation where the LAPD can very easily say, yeah, she popped one off, so we put one in her. You know, I'm just doing my job. All of their cameras are at the back of the fence. We're only going to know in time. One thing I do know is this: Jillian Schreiner did nothing illegal. Jillian Schreiner found herself in a situation where she had to protect herself from police officers. She was exercising her constitutional rights. I guarantee the gun's legal. She probably has a carry conceal, which in a lot of states you don't even need a carry conceal. You can just open carry, right? They had no business redirecting their efforts toward her. They should have been chasing the real criminals, not pinning down a resident in their yard, aiming guns at them, putting their life in danger, using the chopper to look at her instead of tracking down the actual criminals. This boggles the mind. And I'm going to defend this lady to hell and back, because I don't feel as though they had a right to ever call her a suspect, to ever call her description over a radio. They never once did they say, do you live here? Is your gun legal? Are you scared? Did you see a suspect run? Is there a suspect in the house? Is that why you don't want to go in the house? Because there's someone in there waiting for you? They never tried to figure out who she was. They just called her a suspect, said over the radio, let's look at this girl and point all of our guns at this person. And I bet the other idiots got away. I haven't even seen any articles about them. I haven't even seen a name of one of the suspects. All I've seen is what they did to Jillian Schreiner. I want to hear you guys' comments. I want to know how you feel about this. No matter how you feel about guns, this woman did nothing wrong. She did what a lot of people would have done in her situation. And then I think she found herself in a situation where she was like, now I have to fight the cops because they're treating me like a criminal on my own property, when it's her constitutional right to be carrying that weapon on her property. Let me know what you think in the comments. Bye-bye.